He can't read Hebrew, never studied grammar. When I asked him when he was talking, did you know you just used the past tense? He says, I have no idea. He got corrected, but all the correction was on vocabulary, not on grammar, okay? Here is my scorecard of these people so far, okay? Comprehensible input is consistent with everybody, has to be. Otherwise, comprehensible output, maybe, maybe not. Certainly Richard Boydell, the quadriplegic, didn't have it. The Valpes multilinguals, they didn't have it, they waited. But Lomcato could have gotten it, and Armando could have gotten it, we don't know. Were they corrected? Lomcato says she was. She's the only one occasionally, but I gotta tell you about her attitude toward correction. She was in a conference once, translating from another language into English in chemistry, which was her subject in school. And she made a mistake. Instead of inorganic, she said unorganic. She said, my chief rival haughtily corrected me. I was lost for the rest of the day. If this happens to Lomcato, world champion, what about our 10-year-old kids? This is, she said, correction makes you sick to your stomach. Grammar study. Not for Richard Boydell. Multilinguals, I don't know if they did it or not in the time they practiced by themselves. Lomcato, yes, but it was limited, and she actually liked it. Armando, no. What's the only universal? Comprehensible input. Every time you see a success story, it's going to have comprehensible input in it, of course. Okay, let's go on. We're going to soon leave the human race. I am very interested in pushing this farther. I want to see how far we can push this. What about non-human species? We can look at two kinds. We can look at animals and aliens from Zeta Reticula. We'll do that second. Okay? Animal language. I did a long paper on this where I reviewed everything. I've looked at animals acquiring English, like chimpanzees who can use sign. And I've looked at animals acquiring species-specific calls, birdsong, etc. There is no known case of a human acquiring an animal language. So who's smarter? I don't think people have even tried, except people who have pets and get to know them well and claim they've developed communication systems, which really needs to be studied. That's fascinating. Okay? Anyway, one case, this is my favorite because I actually met this parrot. And all of my grandchildren are nuts about this parrot, and they have met her too. Cosmo is an African gray. Now, the African gray parrots are the best with speech. They're the ones who've done it. I learned about Cosmo when I was giving a talk in Athens, Georgia, in the School of Education, which happens to be where my son lives. So I spend a lot of time there hanging out with my grandchildren. And while I was there, someone said, you know, you really should check out Betty Jean Craig. She was a professor of comparative lit at the university, and she's retired, but she writes a column every so often in the newspaper about her parrot. And she wrote a book called Cosmo, okay, which is really good. Cosmo, as you see here, was 6 months old when she moved in with Professor Craig. By the time she was 6, she had acquired about 100 words, 200 phrases, which she used appropriately, exactly like Washoe, the chimpanzee who acquired English Sign, about the same syntactic complexity, about the same vocabulary size. Very interesting. Here's my favorite example. There's lots of these. This is from Betty Jean Craig. When she awakens in the morning, Cosmo calls to me, to her cage, I'm here. Cosmo, want to poop. I lift her to the perch on top of her cage, where she poops. Cosmo then declares proudly, Cosmo poop on paper. Cosmo's a good bird. This is pretty good stuff, huh? I can just see Donald saying that. I'm sorry, I can't. Wait, all right, good one. You know, Donald, sit down. You know. Cosmo is not such a good bird when she walks around the house. It'd be too bad when Trump is no longer in the headlines. All these jokes, you know, it's a gift that never stops giving. Cosmo's not such a good bird when she walks around the house. By the way, those of you who are insulted by my obvious political bias, it will get worse. Cosmo's not such a good bird when she walks around the house. Fortunately, I have hardwood floors. If she poops near me, she immediately confesses. Cosmo poop on the floor. Isn't this something? If she poops out of my sight, she mutters to herself, Cosmo poop. I hurry. I hear her and I hurry to the site with a paper towel and a vinegar-based multi-surface cleanser. As I spray the spot, Cosmo mimics the sound, whisks, and adds, that's for Cosmo poop. She's not imitating. Okay, comprehension hypothesis nearly fits, it's close. What I like about the comprehension hypothesis here, the people doing second language acquisition, with one exception, don't know anything about what we do. I'm sorry, the people doing animal language, except for the person who studied, Pepperbird, who studied another parrot, who does mention the comprehension hypothesis as a competitor. They're off in their own world. We need more communication among fields. They need to take a TPR class, TPRS, they need to go to Karen's workshop, you know, do this. Anyway, Cosmo, and we want to see if it fits. If it doesn't fit, okay, but we're learning things. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. If the hypothesis doesn't fit, we're learning what animal language doesn't do. So it does fit fairly well though. First of all, she gets a lot of input. Betty Jean Craig, when I'm home, Cosmo and I talk constantly. Made comprehensible the way we make our language comprehensible to beginners. I consistently use the same words and phrases. For example, I always say, Cosmo, want to go in a car? Never vary the questions with synonyms. I don't say, Cosmo, want to ride? Would you like to go for a car in the afternoon? I use peanut for all kinds of nuts. Peanuts, walnuts, pecans, cashews, etc. Context. Just like we use body parts, occasional translation, pictures, all this, Cosmo has here and now, as in child language. Betty Jean only talks about what's relevant to Cosmo and the moment, the here and now, her needs, her desires. And oh my gosh, is this personalized? Which is one of the great, powerful breakthroughs with TPRS. All discussion relates directly to Cosmo's needs, interests, and desires. Silent period, yeah. Cosmo didn't start talking till around 13 months. Silent period, and it's there in calls of the language of the birds themselves in their own calling system. Do the arrivals work? Does instruction work for Cosmo? Well, she's tried it. I tried to teach Cosmo to distinguish between red feathers and gray feathers. Cosmo had already learned the word feather, but she could not or would not say red feather or gray feather. She'd simply grab the feather with her beak and fling it away. The syllabus has to come from what you're doing now, not from a list that you get from the district office, okay? Here's a case of direct instruction working, not working, but acquisition working quite well. Lately, Cosmo's been trying to say the word desk. I haven't tried to teach her the word. Actually, I tried to teach her Betty Jean's study, which she never learned to say. I must have said desk once or twice before she tried to say the word to refer to the table where my computer rests. That was at her I+1. Betty Jean's study wasn't. Pepperbird, the other scholar who worked on parrots, tried to teach Alex all kinds of things like pick up, but he picked up, he acquired some expressions on his own that she never taught him, like calm down, pay attention, you turkey. And he used that on all the lab assistants when people were acting out, he used it appropriately. Now, comprehensible output here has a little bit of evidence. We cannot dismiss it. As much as I can and within reason, I comply with Cosmo's spoken wishes, because I want her to know that language works. I want her to know that use of language enables her to manipulate the environment, obtain peanuts, go to the kitchen, make people laugh, get a misting, spray with water, get a kiss on her feathers and my rapt attention. When she speaks, she has power. She can tell me what to do, even though she's little and I'm big. That is comprehensible output. What we don't know is whether it was necessary or even helpful. But it is there, and that is a place where more research, of course. Cosmo knows I love her. the affective filter is 0, and that they are a member of a club, a family. This is powerful for acquisition. She knows I'll never strike her, even when she bites. Now, we got a few problems here, or some things of interest. Cosmo has acquired most of what she knows at the time she was 5 years old. She hasn't done much language acquisition since then. I don't know if this is because she hasn't gotten enough new input, or maybe there's some kind of limit on language acquisition, etc. Again, this is a place where we can really need new input. Let me tell you about outer space now and what's going on.